Sea of Thieves has a ton of options you can turn off and on hidden deep inside the setting menus that can give you a huge edge on the competition, or inversely put you at a huge disadvantage if you're not using them. Today I'm going to be showing you all of the settings that you should definitely turn on right now, in order to help you completely dominate the other crews on the high seas. The first and probably most important one is having your FOV as high as possible. This setting can be found under the Graphics Setting tab at the very top. Maxing out this slider will make the game far easier to play, as well as allowing you to see so much more around you. Having this maxed out at 90 will definitely just make the game feel a lot smoother overall, and you'll never go back. The difference is literally game-changing. Server Authoritative Hit Markers is a brand new setting that came with the Season 11 update that makes it so that all the hit markers that show up on your screen are actually server registered hit markers, so that the game will only show you hits that actually counted. This setting will help combat any hit registration problems that you'd usually experience in the Sea of Thieves by never reporting false hits. This setting can be found by going into the gameplay settings and then scrolling all the way down to the very bottom. Also, make sure to turn your sound effects up so that you can easily tell what's happening around you. It's important to be able to hear people when they're swimming around your ship, attempting to board, and honestly just being able to hear all of the sound cues in this game. Simply turning up your sound effects slider will make all of these a lot easier to hear and allowing you to respond faster. Similar to this, turning up your musical hit notifications, at least to the point where you can hear it during combat, will help you tell when you hit the enemy ship with cannonballs, even if you can't actually see it happening because something's obstructing your view. This makes fighting around islands or in storms, or even just hitting shots from extremely far away, so much easier because you can tell when you have a perfect angle even if you can't see it. Both your sound effects volume and your musical hit notifications volume can be found in the Audio Settings tab. Another setting that you can find in the Audio Settings tab is a setting called Proximity Chat, and you'll want to toggle this setting to directional, and here's why. Sea of Thieves has great spatial audio, and having directional proximity chat on can help you locate a potential enemy just by being able to tell where their voice is coming from. We also have speech to text override, which is an option that can give you an insane advantage in a lot of different situations. When you can hear anybody talking within your proximity chat range, even if they are so far away that you can barely hear them, having this setting on will let the game automatically put the text for what they are saying into the chat for you to read. With speech translation, you can take this a bit further by letting the game help you to translate from languages that you don't understand and then putting them in the chat in English. This system is even less perfect than the normal speech to text, but it never hurts to get more information about what your enemies are doing. This setting can be found right underneath the speech to text override setting in the language tab. Having crew status tags on is pretty good, but it can be extremely good, especially if you play with random people often or on larger crews. Turning this HUD setting on will make small emblems appear next to your crewmates' nameplates whenever they are doing anything. It shows you if they are holding a crate, using a cannon, bucketing water, putting out fires, or even if they are dead. These show up through walls and from a pretty far distance, so this can be extremely good just to know what your teammates are up to or if they need your help. Speaking of help yourself by changing your island banner settings in the banner section of the HUD settings. By default, these island banners can cover up your ammo counter and your health bar when you approach an island, and as you can expect, this is extremely bad if you're in the middle of a fight and need that information. And this setting allows you to replace them with a much smaller, less cinematic banner or turn them off completely. Another thing that you definitely don't want to do in combat is accidentally open your trinket placing options on your ship or sitting down next to whatever you're trying to do during a crucial PvP moment. Toggling on the disable ship sitting interactions and the disable ship trinket interactions at the top of gameplay settings will help you never make these mistakes again. This option basically just completely removes those options from what you're able to do on your ship for as long as you have the setting toggled on. And lastly, but still very, very important, make sure you go ahead and set a hotkey for things like food, bait, and throwables. Having to scroll through your radial menus in the heat of combat, whether it's PvE or PvP, can suck a lot. Setting up some extra hotkeys for those things and being able to select them instantly can give you a huge edge over any opponent.